transmitting business credibility and trust despite being underage. This process has, however, become easier with the continued success of the ISLC campaigns. Please join me in welcoming Erik Novak.
Hello. Well, hello everyone. I'll start off by saying that words cannot describe how nervous I am right now. It's the first time I've ever done anything even remotely close to this, so please bear with me if I jump off. If I lose some of my lettering. Also, English is not necessarily my most innate language, so I might use a word that could have been better substituted for another one. But without further ado, let us start. So, I am a 17-year-old. Currently a rising senior, similar to many of you here, at the American School of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Far away, though at least sunny Brazil. And since I am a rising senior and I plan to apply to the United States, my best friend for the next 6 months will be the common application, similar to many of you. And the common application, for those of you who don't know, is the system you use to apply to the United States universities. I'm hoping to apply for a STEM program, but we'll still see about that. Recently, I started getting into more Dungeons and Dragons, and also it's just... Get fans. Great game. It's not as dorky as you might think. But anyways, I started getting into Dungeons and Dragons very recently, and also into political ideology, just debating about this sort of stuff. Syndicalism, mutualism, activism, great stuff. Needless to say, yes, I am awesome. I'm just kidding, I'm actually one of the nerdiest people you will ever have the pleasure of meeting, but it will be a pleasure. And while you know some of me already, something about me, you might still be asking yourself, what is this guy doing up here? Why is he up here? What is he doing? What's the purpose behind it? And let me tell you something, I've been asking myself this question as well, the last week at least, and I've been trying to answer it, and the only thing I can say is I'm extremely humbled to be up here on the stage together with such incredible other people that you've heard of and that you will still hear from. But it's nerve-wracking, and it's very hard to keep the self-confidence up to the levels where I can perform at an adequate level. If you feel some deja vu regarding anything that I've said in the past, it's for a reason. Do you know why? It's because I'm you. I am one of you. I'm a rising senior with all my own difficulties, all my worries, all the mishaps, all the uncertainty. I'm a blank slate. I'm trying to learn more about myself, more about who I am, more about who I will want to be. I think I'll apply to STEM program, but I really don't know yet. Where will I be in 5 years? Where will you be in 5 years? I don't know, and I'm almost sure that you don't know the answer to that either. And this is why I felt it was very interesting that Operation Smile decided to create a student section, because you are the ones who most know yourselves. You are the ones who most know your difficulties. And to have someone who is going through these same issues as you present to you, that's the person with whom you can connect the most. So, without further ado, let's start with the actual content of the presentation. Throughout my experience in the last, let's say, 5 to 6 years, I've developed a bit of an entrepreneurial mindset through the things that I've done generally, and what I've come to realize about entrepreneurial mindset is that it can be explained by these 4 primary things, these 4 primary examples here. So it's free thinking and dreaming. It's essentially knowing you want something even if it may not be among the trend or something that is usual or casual. It's daring to think, basically. Problem solving. It's knowing that some of the things you might think will be hard to accomplish, but they will not be possible. In fact, it's very hard to find something that truly actually is impossible. Innovative and original. Entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurial mindset preaches being original, preaches being impacted in that regard, in that exact way. And also knowing that failure will come, but as long as your risks are all calculated, failure will actually be just one step closer to your ultimate final overall success. And so, I'm only 17 years old, but I've had quite a few experiences that have led me to these conclusions, and while I may not speak with the same level of authenticity as, for example, Todd McGee, who has been in the business for 20 plus years, I can at least tell you what a 17-year-old, someone like yourselves, thinks about all these things. And the quote that reminds me of this, and the quote that you might have seen in the past is this: insanity is continuing to do the same things you have always done in the same ways you have always done them and expect different results. Who has seen this quote before? Yeah, quite a lot of you. And it's a powerful quote, I tell you. And it talks about the entrepreneurial mindset, and the most interesting thing is it relates the entrepreneurial mindset not just to professionalism and business opportunities, but also to your overall functionality, to your modus operandi, to the way you wake up and go to the toilet and brush your teeth. This is the power of the entrepreneurial mindset. It works on how you are going to lead your life, whether it be through large-scale school student projects, or whether it be the small things like helping your friend clean their room or something. As long as you have this mindset, success will come your way sooner or later. And so I'll relate to how I started developing some of this mindset via some obstacles that I faced. Specifically, there were 3 obstacles that I related to this presentation. Things that I have seen that have made me grow in the past. And I'm sure many of you, if not most of you, have also had obstacles in your life from which you have grown. And the most important thing is that you learn to grow from these and to learn how to apply what you have learned in the best and most efficient way possible. So one of the things that I had was, from 11 to 14 years old, I had a bit of a digestive malfunction that started getting worse and worse and worse, and no one really knew what was going on. We went to several doctors, I will explain this one in a little bit, but things were getting worse. My intestines were getting more and more inflamed each month. I was having to eat less and less things, whereas hitherto, before I was 11, I had a moderately decent diet, similar to the diets that many of you follow. As each month progressed, I was eating less and less variety. First, I had to start changing the protein I ate from today to tomorrow. So if I ate some chicken today, I'd have to eat something else tomorrow, because my intestines wouldn't want this repetition. And I also had to cut off all the dairy, and I cut off all the beans, then I cut off some of the salad components, and I cut off most of the vegetables, and I cut off most of the carbohydrates. Suddenly, I was eating only mashed potatoes and seeds. And I'm not kidding, I had to eat a diet that's similar to that on several different occasions for the better part of 4 months. It was awful. It was so awful, in fact, that when I was 14 in 2014, I was weighing 53 kilos, which was around 10 kilos less than what I should be weighing. It was a terrible experience that I wish upon no one. However, all of this, coupled with the way in which I've recovered, has changed the way I view the world and I view things. In conclusion, though, however, I also had very little energy when the situation was at its worst. I had played no sports, yet I still broke 10 bones within a 3-year time span because I was so weak from 11 to 14 years old. And we attempted to find improvement. First we went to a doctor in Rio, then we went to another doctor in Rio, then to another doctor in Rio. Then we went to a doctor in Salvador, then we went to another doctor in Rio, and then to a doctor in São Paulo. For those of you who don't know, Salvador is around 1,000 kilometers from São Paulo, so from Rio, and São Paulo is around 500 kilometers from Rio. So we went all over Brazil, and no one seemed to hit it as to what I was having. No one seemed to give me the best form of treatment. They all gave me treatment that would severely deteriorate my lifestyle. We were positively sure, my mother and I, she's right there, we were positively sure that there was something better. So we kept on looking, and we eventually found it. We found it, of all places, in the USA, so USA chapter of some of those. There you go. This was in Massachusetts. It's a joint venture between the Massachusetts General Hospital and the Newton Wellesley Hospital. It turns out this is a picture of my colonoscopy, so there you go. It turns out, though, that what I have is just a form of ulcerative colitis that no one in Brazil seemed to understand particularly well. This is a random picture that I took from one of the colonoscopy pages. It might not be the most revealing one, but nevertheless, it seems we knew what I had. And the most interesting thing was that the treatment for that was no more, no less than 4 pills that I take at night, that I take them up to this day, and a probiotic that I take in those organs. So it's only that. And with only that, in a year, I was a totally different person. I was more energetic, I was more engaged, I felt totally different. Of course, I still had the chance of remission and I was still not at full health again. And I'm still not at full health right now, but I was totally different. So how did this change me? This experience, that is, these 3 years. I feel like the 3 years, followed by the 1 year of expeditious recovery, really made me into a different person. They made me understand others more, as it were. I think I grew a lot in empathy and sympathy, especially for those around me. So, because I realized that people do suffer, I realized that, and whether it be because your notebook fell on the floor and I'm going to help you, whether it be something even more magnitudinal, I realized that people are best when they have support. They feel best when they have support. I also became more perseverant because of, if you remember, this. I learned that everything, sooner or later, will have the better answer choice, the better type of answer. And so I adopted a mindset of trying to always reach this better answer. And finally, I became much more of a change maker. Someone who really wanted to improve his community, to give back to a community that he saw flaws in. And see, I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see. I wanted to embody this change. It's a powerful thing that is running through my brain, and I'm very grateful for the fact that I was able to adopt this mindset, because I believe, and it sounds cheesy and even pretentious for me to say this, I believe I became a better person as a result of the experience that I had for these 3 to 4 years. This reminds me of a quote that I saw in The Shawshank Redemption, an excellent movie. I'm sure many of you have watched it. How many of you have watched it? You that haven't, do watch it. So, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. During those 3 years, I started to feel more and more hopeless as I didn't find the correct and adequate treatment for what I had. But I eventually found a solution. However, I do know that the reason why I found it was because I had the resources to travel to the United States and find doctors. I had the resources to explore all the options at my disposal, something that I am 100% sure people in underprivileged communities, especially in Brazil, do not have. And so, if I was starting to feel hopeless for some time, imagine how they might be feeling. That's something that really kicked my gears and made me start moving towards wanting to resolve certain issues. But I was hit by yet another obstacle. Oh, pardon. There's this also, which is an excellent picture that embodies Rio. It's something that certainly compounded my interest. Here you have highly underprivileged neighborhood in Rio called Facinho. It's the slum, one of the largest in Brazil. And here you have an affluent neighborhood of large posh houses called Gávea. And one is right next to the other. They have both. This one has the smallest human development index in Rio, and this one has the largest. So it's social disparity at its finest, and it allows people who wouldn't otherwise be able to see the plights that these people have to go through, to see what they have to deal with on a daily basis. And this is most interesting because if you see this building right there, yes, that's my school. So I had to deal with this. I had to see. I saw what people were going through every day, and this, together with my interest in change, they certainly compounded me into really wanting to improve the community that I saw had so many flaws in it. However, my obstacle itself was that, well, how do I do this? I was in a bit of a directionless dream. How do I concretize my interest in seeing this become real? And this was the direction of the dream for certain reasons. Firstly, there's a Brazilian culture. Brazil is relatively new to the philanthropy business. In fact, Brazil is totally unused to indirect philanthropy, where you donate money but you don't see the change itself happening immediately. This is for several reasons. One, Brazil is very well known for its corruption, both on the political level as well as on the NGO level as well. There are several instances of charlatanism, and this makes people more skeptical to donate money to causes that they do not see direct benefit from. However, this was not the only issue that disallowed me from really servicing my community in a way that I felt was approachable to me. My extracurricular community, which is related to my schools, an American school, so it has a relatively vibrant extracurricular life, didn't really have a niche for what I wanted to accomplish. it already had some sort of service project, but it wasn't really that effective. And beyond that, the community itself was already oversaturated, so it was really possible for me to found a new club during that, at that exact moment in time. So, what I did, oh yeah, and then there's a bureaucracy issue, which is since my community was so, how can I put it? Since what I wanted to accomplish was so, how can I put it, even complex, even in terms of student engagement, I would eventually have a pitfall of bureaucracy. And having that pitfall of bureaucracy together with my school community wouldn't be that easy on the project and the things that I wanted to accomplish. So it was disadvised that I start the project in relation to my school, at least then. Then I remember the quote that I also had. As you can see, I'm a fan of quotes. But I remember the quote that I had, that I knew I had known for some time, and it related even to my condition to some extent. The quote goes like this: "The smile is the shortest distance between two people." And it's a powerful quote. It's a powerful quote because it speaks about both the importance of smiles and also of the interest, the innate interest that human beings have in being close to each other. And it's something that I certainly felt while I was at my worst because of the situation that I was having and the fact that they were internal, they weren't directly visible. I was bullied extensively because people didn't understand that I needed special care from my 11 to 14 years old. And I felt certainly severely alienated from my community. And I felt that giving out a natural smile wasn't necessary, wasn't too easy, of course. So I related to this quote a bit. And once I heard about Operation Smile from a mutual friend, I realized, this is an incredible thing because my problem pales in comparison to theirs, yet the solution is so simple, it's so straightforward that this NGO is magical and that it found its niche and is really causing positive change to the niche. And I was extremely excited about this, and I wanted to know how I could best engage with Operation Smile. I said, I'm finally starting to concretize my dreams. So I gave the office a call, and another obstacle. There was no continuous student clubs in Rio. So Operation Smile did something with another school in Rio, but it was only temporary for a month. And I couldn't really engage with them specifically as part of the student program's initiative as objectively. So what I realized was that I had to tread my own path. I had to essentially carve out my own engagement with them, which was not easy. It required certainly quite a bit of perseverance, but I decided to be weird, just like what Wade Houghton, was it him? Yeah. Yes, just like what Wade Houghton said a few years ago. Yes, be weird. It brings out the best in us, I'd say. So I decided to do my own thing. I decided to create my own engagement, and I essentially worked as a freelance fundraiser of sorts, where I would essentially focus on providing medical access to underprivileged communities and improve fundraising camaraderie. And the medical access I wouldn't myself provide, of course. I provided via a partnership with specifically Operation Smile. And again, so I had a plan, I had a vision, I had a goal, I wanted to execute it, but how really do I concretize this? And this brings me to yet another obstacle. Oh, no, before that. The key message out of all of this is that perseverance yields results. I persevered, I really tried to figure out how my engagement would improve my community and those around me, and it yielded results. Because I had a point of contact at Operation Smile, I had a plan, I had something that I wanted to accomplish, and I had it all. Because instead of feeling bad about myself, because for 3 years I was stuck at home, I actually felt good about doing things with my life, now that I wasn't. And that's the power of the mindset that I tried to adopt as a result of the things that I've experienced. But I had another obstacle. Another obstacle was improving my professionalism to the point where I be treated as an adult. It sounds a bit odd, but really, especially in Brazil, if your professionalism isn't too good, people are not going to take you seriously. In the United States, and I believe in other countries as well, people, teenage students, they are taken more seriously because entrepreneurship is so well established. But in Brazil, it's really not the norm, it's out of the curve. So people would be surprised and not take me seriously, and I knew that from the get-go. I knew that I have no experience with this whatsoever, much like I have no experience with doing what I'm doing right now, but I have no experience with that. And I knew that my learning curve would normally be this flat thing, difficult procedure, learned slowly and painfully for the experts. But I also knew that I had to create an artificial learning curve that was steeper, because if I didn't steepen my learning curve, I'd never be able to cause the positive change that I was so eager to do. Let's think about book covers for a second. People always say, don't judge a book by its cover, but why does this quote exist in the first place? I postulate that this exists because people have the innate tendency to judge books by their covers. People are naturally prejudiced. It's something that we've been working on, but would you rather read this copy of the Communist Manifesto?
Yes!
There you go. Or this copy of the Communist Manifesto? You see? One has nice, beautiful pictures, the other one's all battered. Which one is the most interesting one? I'd say it's the one to your right. Both have the same content, but you would judge a book by its cover. And the same applies to businesses, the same applies to projects, the same applies to schools, the same applies to, well, everything. In Brazil, at least. So, I realized that I had to professionalize my book cover ASAP. And I created a logo for my initiative in partnership with Operação Sorriso, because I needed an identity of sorts. And I used the light bulb as one of my key objects, because the light bulb represents ideas, and ideas idea looks actually, for those of you who speak Latin, means ideas of light, if I'm not mistaken. And that's what I was hoping to accomplish here. I was hoping to present my partner, the NGO, Operação Sorriso, with very bright ideas for fundraising that would be both impactful and would improve indirect fundraising in Brazil, as well, of course, as looking incredible. So, I set a few key tenets to my identity. Essentially, I was working with a medical NGO, Operação Sorriso. I was capitalizing on an opportunity to inspire others, which is actually interesting, and it's one of the reasons why I'm so humbled to be up here, because I am following on this exact tenet right now, and specializing in innovative fundraising to maximize impact. I was hoping to not only get people's money, but to also make them remember why they gave away their money for more than just 24 hours. In fact, make them remember for 48, 72, 96 hours a month. And this was important because people usually tend to forget why they're donating later on. But the fact, my age mixed in with innovativeness that I was trying to propose would hopefully try to eradicate that superficiality of the donation process. So I came up with, get this, a food bike. It sounds a bit out of the charts here. How many of you don't know what a food truck is? Do all of you know what a food truck is? Alright, perfect. Food bike is essentially a food truck that requires less efficient capital investment, that requires capital investment and so on, such as a then 15-year-old will be able to invest. And so I said, let's build a food bike. I knew that the food truck scene in Brazil back then was booming. So I said, I'll build a food bike, go to these events, and it will allow me to converse with a very large amount of people, thus motivating them and inspiring them, and it will also allow me to raise copious amounts of funds. So I built the food bike. This was me building the food bike, building barrels and such, and this was me buying the shirts to improve my corporate identity. And this was me inaugurating the food bike in March of 2016. It was an event at a church, and I was selling general pastries and a few sandwiches. As you can see, this is my mother. She's right there assisting me. She's been there through every step of the process, and I wouldn't be able to be anywhere without her. She escorted me here, guys. This is her level of living. So much. But what I realized via this project was that, well, things weren't working out too well, were they? I mean, after a bit of time, I realized that I didn't have enough storage space in the little basket and the little barrel that I had created. I realized that things were getting dirty and all messed up. I realized that I really didn't have an infrastructure behind all of this, and so all that I had tried to do in regards to creating greater professionalism and a better corporate identity had been thrown out the trash because I hadn't been able to accomplish this. I had my ideas for implementation, but I hadn't gone far enough. And this is when I realized that I took a calculated risk. And I wouldn't really consider it a failure, I just consider it more of a backtrack. So I had to backtrack and rethink about how I could professionalize my initiative even further. And that's, were you hearing me beforehand? Yeah, okay. So that's, I just changed the mic up, it just changed entirely back here. But anyways, I realized that I needed to go further. And thankfully, my school realized it as well. And they nominated me to apply for something called the Global Citizens Youth Summit, hosted by Global Citizens Initiative. And it's essentially a social entrepreneurship project incubator that unites 28 students from around the world and brings them together for a week of learning and to improve their social entrepreneurship projects, which they call global service projects, essentially because you're trying to resolve a global issue on the local level. So this is a picture of me working, and this is a picture inside a classroom. This is their founder, Yuri Kwana. It's a great initiative, and I invite everyone here to read more about it. Just search Global Citizens Initiative online. It's a phenomenal thing. Beyond just improving my project via creating a better mission statement, a better vision, better short and long-term goals, I also, oh, by the way, this is me and the other 28 people, the other 27 people. They told us to come in traditional attire, but I'd say the most traditional Brazilian attire is the Speedo. So I came in a suit. Yeah. Anyways, so I met a guy there, one of the keynote speakers called Benjamin Zander, and he also changed a lot of the paradigms that I had set for myself. His main message was, think outside the box. It relates actually to the whole be weird thing that we heard from Wade Booty today. In fact, I'd say it's more or less the same message, except I heard it first from him rather than Mr. Booty. But it changed the way, it both established that what I was doing was correct in terms of impact, and it also motivated me to further do even more. Beyond this, I also learned something called design thinking, which is incredible. I'm not going to develop on it right now because really, unfortunately, we don't have enough time. But it changed the way I approach project creation, whether it be via Ideias Lux, whether it be via the school student council, whether it be in any place that requires project creation, whether it be packing up your suitcase and traveling to Rome for a conference. It's really anything. Design thinking, it allows us to really take away the not necessary components of project creation and do something that's specifically geared towards the key demographic that you're trying to impact. So I strongly recommend that you search this online. Design thinking and GCI, those are the two things that I do hope that you get on Google pretty soon and check out. So with all that information, I said, that's an update, the project and the food bike. So I went on Trusty, what's the name of the project again? Illustrator. I went on Trusty Adobe Illustrator, really rough program, guys. And I made this, which was the original idea for a better and revised food bike. And after that, we sent the project in for further improvements, now at a professional company. And they AutoCAD'd it, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing? This looks incredible. And it did. It looked like beyond anything I'd ever seen. And more importantly, in fact, most importantly, it looked professional. It looked like the level of professionalism that I was hoping to go for with my engagements. And I felt much better about this than I had about this. So now with the design, with the new food bike, I went to my first event in December of 2016, and you can clearly see direct professionalistic improvement between the first chance and now my second opportunity to be there at another event now. One of the things that I'd like to highlight about this is that I had the original idea for Ideias Lux in August of 2015, and I was only able to, even though I could call the March edition an inauguration, to fully inaugurate the project in December of 2016. After one supposed failure, and after much and much learning, and the learning curve that was certainly much steeper than it would have otherwise been had I been less motivated. So what I realized with this is that things will inherently take longer than you're supposing they would. This is why when you're building a new house, when you're refurbishing your apartment, you say, it'll be ready in a month, but it's actually ready in 3. And this is why when I started my activity, when I started to plan it out in August of 2015, I was only ready 1 year and 5 months later, when in actual fact I thought it would be a 3 to 4 month process. But it was an incredible learning opportunity, and beyond just learning opportunity, it allowed me to impact directly and positively the lives of others, which truly, I can say that for myself and hopefully for all of you, is the most gratifying thing possible. So I appeared in a few media locations as how can I put this? This is more so than just the being on the newspaper sort of feeling that you would have. This is important because it brings my vision and my mission out to a much larger amount of people than I would have otherwise been able to. And this is what's truly important about appearing in media. It's about spreading the word, spreading a message, spreading the word about Operação Sorriso, spreading everything. So, I appeared in one newspaper publication as well as several blogs during my experience, and we'll keep on from there. Beyond that, I also won something called the NASA Global Citizen Award, which gave me $1,000 to reinvest into my initiative, with which I'm going to buy a textile machine to decrease the cost of merchandise printing, and in the long run, this will be a beneficial investment. The ASA stands for Association of American Schools in South America, and it's hosted by, it's an organization that has, I believe, 110 different schools in all of South America and Latin America. And my school nominated me to apply, and I was humbled to have won the award. And perhaps certainly the most gratifying thing out of this whole project is knowing that you were able to positively, truly change the life of someone else. And it's something that could not be better enveloped than, it's a feeling that could not be better, could be better encompassed than through a card written by one of the people whose surgeries I financed, thanking me for their time. And this is one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. It's in Portuguese, I'm sorry if you're able to read it, but it essentially says, thank you. I'll present you with a smile, and may God give a lot of health for you, and may He do may a lot of surgeries be done throughout the whole of Brazil, promoting happiness. Merry Christmas and a great New Year. So it was a powerful, powerful message that was there, because I know how much the lives of people who were operated on are changed, and this just hit me like a brick in my stomach. I was like, oh my. This is the first card I ever received from someone, and I felt really incredible with this. Interestingly, Operação Sorriso Brazil is going to operate they operate on around 300 people a day, and they are going to go on 4 missions this next year planned. Echoing the words of Todd McGee, it's really important to have mentors and associates while you're planning the project. And while this was mostly, and when I say mostly, I mean really mostly a one-man band, up until right now at least. I have plans, but while this was mostly a one-man band up until right now, I did have people without whom I would not be 1/10 of the way that I have arrived in terms of my project. These being primarily my mother, please stand up. Again. She has stayed up with me at night. She has consoled me when I was crying. She has given me advice on anything you can possibly imagine, and I can't be more thankful for her. However, beyond just my mother, there is also Gracie Maragias, who is a family associate, and she is mostly responsible for making sure that we do the manufacturing part correctly, and that's the most important thing, she creates the recipes that I end up selling, because I'm an awful to cook, I know how to make rice, and cooked eggs, and that's just about it. So she's the one who saves the day when it comes to the kitchen work. Planning the kitchen work, that is. Then there's Ugo Lange, who is also a family friend, and he has done most of our law consultations to make sure that we're not really infringing upon the law, especially because if you own a food vending service, it's highly likely that you will do something that's unsanitary. And if that happens, then you're in big trouble, mate. And I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be that person who was trying their best and still not going. And so Ugo was graceful enough to give us a lot of help in this regard. And finally, Luciano, who has done graphic design and marketing and helped me out with learning Illustrator and Photoshop and really, those things. And if you see how snazzy my logo looks, it's because of him. Trust me, it's 100% because of him. The man has an eye for graphic design, the likes of which I have not seen elsewhere. He is a phenomenal friend and someone who I can't thank enough. In fact, these are people I can't thank enough, without whom I, again, would not be here. The most interesting thing is that while I have these 4 people, you, I'm 100% sure, also have people. All of you have people who are here, who are helping you, who are giving you their expertise and all their years of experience. And those are your chaperones. So a round of applause for all of them. Whether they are helping you with creating your projects, whether it be here when they are taking time out of their vacations to travel to Rome, to travel to rural Italy, not in terms of rural Italy, and be in this conference with you. They're there, and this is a powerful thing. Finally, I'd like to thank Anna Lemi. We all knew this was coming. And my biggest point of contact when I have to resolve bureaucratic issues. So thank you, Anna. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for taking me in after that hectic month of August 2015. I had to call a few times and send a few emails, and I'm so disconnected. Thank you so much. Without you, none of this would be possible. None of this. Let's go back to the first actual slide of the presentation, which is the entrepreneurial mindset. I thought I highlighted these 4 things, mostly because I read them on a Business Insider article, but also because I truly felt that they related to what I was trying to deal with here. Free thinking and dreaming. Yes, I had the ability. I dreamt of something that was certainly beyond my reach, but I dreamt it. That's one of the things about entrepreneurial mindset. I did a lot of problem solving. I didn't have an immediate path to solve it, but I knew that something was possible, and I went there and did it. It's something that was innovative and original. You know that I actually made the first philanthropic food bag in all of Brazil. So it was certainly helpful. And finally, I took calculated risks. I've never invested more money than I'd not be able to pay off later, so that. And while I may have had not certainly failures, but setbacks, they've all been steps towards greater success. So what is in the future? Let me finish this off with a quote that I'm 100% sure you will all know. Yes, it's Star Trek. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. And what is this if not entrepreneurship? What is this if not a tangible, real-life goal mixed in with idealism and the motivation to succeed? It's a quote that I truly like. It's powerful, and I like it almost as much as I like Star Trek, but it's hard to like something as much as you like Star Trek. And so that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to speak with us. Let's give him another round of applause.
One more thing. I'll find a way to make this slide available to all of you, because there's also a nice poem that I did, whatever. But I will make this slide available to you because, I don't know, I feel like it goes over a lot of things. If you want to know more, if you want to contact me, I'll be here, of course, with you, doing the same things as you until Monday. But beyond that, feel free to reach out to me.